What's good, everybody? Welcome back to the Voice of College Football 365. I'm your host, John Robinson IV. As you all can see, you can all call me J-Rob. Make sure you give me a follow on X. And also, if you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, please make sure you hit that subscribe button, leave a like, and also leave a comment. We will be checking comments after the streams, even during the streams, but for like other topics and things in the future, we would love to hear your thoughts on certain things, especially the stuff that we discuss on the show. Chris isn't here with me today, but we'll be rocking for most of the year, and I'm excited to get into these topics. And before we get into it, the first thing I do want to say is Happy June. We're almost in the summertime, and summertime means we are almost at college football season. Best time of the year. It is always the worst drought when we don't get our college football, our NFL during this time of the year. So we are only 2 months away from opening day, week 0 college football. I'm super excited. Also, one other thing I do want to add, my college football 26 people, throw your @names you play. If you're on PlayStation, I think cross-platform is coming to college football 26. Let's get that going. I definitely want to get you guys in the dynasty. Let's get rocking. But with further ado, let's get into our first topic of the show. One thing that I thought was very interesting, there was a comment that was put out by Aaron Murray, former quarterback of the Georgia Bulldogs back in the day. It was about, excuse me, my bad, y'all. Wrong one. Hold on. Wrong one. There we go. All right, so here's our quote. Aaron Murray, former quarterback of the Georgia Bulldogs, said, "If you are so good, why in the hell are you not playing above a 7th-round quarterback?" And this quote was made about Arch Manning. Obviously, Arch Manning had a lot of pomp and circumstance coming into his college career. He has sat his first 2 years behind Quentin. Excuse me. Why can't I think of this brother's name right now? The quarterback for I really can't. Hold on, chat. Clearly, I'm tripping right now. Hold on. Why can't I think of his name right now? Jesus, y'all know who I'm talking about though. He went 7th round. His name's on the top of my tongue. I don't even know why I can't think of it. I apologize for that. But Arch Manning, he was Quinn Ewers. There we go. He was sitting behind Quinn Ewers, and obviously, due to that, he didn't play his first 2 years. And Aaron Murray makes a big point because there is some speculation that Arch Manning will be a first-round quarterback heading into this next season. Now, I think it's a bit premature. I think he has all the pomp and circumstance. He has the pedigree, obviously. But there still is a level of football that we need to see him play. And I don't think Aaron Murray is wrong for feeling this way because obviously if you're a projected first-round pick and if you're a projected first-round pick and you're in a locker room, there is a level of expectation that you should be better than Quinn Ewers, who didn't show much flashes, could have transferred somewhere else. But I also think there is a dynamic with Sarkisian, and I do give Arch Manning a lot of credit. I think in today's day and age of college football, it is very easy to decide to go out and seek a bag somewhere else. However, it says something about Arch to have legitimately, he could get a bag at any college in the country. And he chose to sit behind Quinn Ewers, developing the Steve Sarkisian system. And I honestly think he's going to be phenomenal at the University of Texas. I think Aaron Murray is not giving enough credence to the fact that Steve Sarkisian, I think is not the right word to use, but Quinn Ewers was capable enough with that Texas team for them to win a national championship. That's the truth. And Arch Manning might have been the better option, but he also got Quinn to transfer over to Texas. He wanted Quinn to see it through, and Quinn saw it through, and that was the result. Aaron Murray's I think the comment was fair, obviously fair. There are some things we are still wanting to see, but also I think he needs to cut everybody a bit of slack because we do all understand, and this is why I feel like there was a bit of disingenuousness to it, is we all understand relationships with coaches, and if there is a hierarchy and a pecking order, sometimes your coach is going to go by that hierarchy and pecking order. Is it always sometimes in the best decision of the team? Who knows? But in reality, if you have a promise to Quinn Ewers that we're going to see this thing through, we're going to see this journey to the end, Arch, your time will come after. We're going to develop you in this system so that when your junior year comes around, you can take the college football world by storm. Then it seems like the right play. And I think Arch Manning's maturity to be able to stick that through, I think it says more volumes about him than the fact that he didn't start over Quinn Ewers his first 2 years there. But that also leads me to this. So this list was put out ranking the SEC starting quarterbacks. I want to say this is by College Football Report on Twitter or X, excuse me. And so they ranked these quarterbacks. They put Arch, Gus Nussmeier, Lenore Sellers, John Matier, DJ Lagway, Diego Pavia, Gunnar Stockton, Ty Simpson, Austin Simmons, Marcel Reed, Taylor Green, Joey Aguilar, Jackson Arnold, Bo Prebula, Blake Shapen, and Zach Calzada. So this is my only. I have a few issues with this list, chat, and it starts with, and it's funny because you'll be like, J-Rob, you were just speaking so highly of him. How is Arch Manning number one on this list? And this is where sometimes hype and what you've actually seen on tape, I think it's not fair to put Arch here. Now, we've seen Arch in a few games this season against mediocre competition. We have to be honest about that. And he looked good. But was he better than Lenore Sellers? I don't know. Was he a better quarterback last season? Is he a better quarterback going into John Matier? I think people got to remember, John Matier led the entire nation in touchdowns out of Washington State. 44 touchdowns, chat. 44 touchdowns, led the nation. John Matier showed more production than an Arch Manning. Now, do I think it's favorable if somebody wants to have him in his top 10? Of course, because honestly, chat, there's a lot of unproven quarterbacks on this list of SEC players. I mean, I think there's a lot of potential here. Taylor Green, Marcel Reed, Austin Simmons, DJ Lagway, Lenore Sellers. There is a lot of potential here. Unfortunately, having Arch at number one, when we've seen Nussmeier play better football so far in his career, Lenore's play better football so far in his career, and John Matier, I mean, you could legitimately argue if he had a better record, why wouldn't he be in New York as a potential Heisman candidate? He did get some votes. I mean, 44 touchdowns is nothing to sneeze at no matter where the location is. But the question is, who would I have over Arch Manning? And so if I were to re-rank this a bit, the moves I would initially make is, I think I would easily put John Matier as the first quarterback. If this is a projection, and I didn't have the clarity when we were looking at the list, and even in the commentary on the X, there was no clarity whether this list was the ranking prior or going in or what they are expecting. But I'm going to rank this list as it stands right now because I want to give it some real credence, and then it can change as the year goes by. And obviously, chat, we're going to revisit this. It's something that we'll talk about again. It'll be a story throughout the year because obviously the big names on here, the Arch Mannings of the world, because we have all these names, Lenore Sellers has been a Heisman contender, DJ Lagway, a lot of big names here. So we'll be talking about these guys throughout the year, throughout the season. Excuse me. Now, the first name, I would easily put John Matier at number one. He will be my number one quarterback in the SEC. I think he's going to thrive in that Oklahoma offense. I think there was a bit of the Oklahoma offense last season lacked explosiveness, but John Matier is debatably one of the best dual threats in the country. You might be able to argue he's the best if you look at the numbers. Along with, obviously, there's DJ Lagway in the mix, Taylor Green, Marcel Reed, but John Matier does give this group a legitimate argument for being the best dual threat quarterback in the SEC. Now, second, I'm going to go Nussmeier. Nussmeier at LSU. And I'll say this too. Full disclaimer, I think LSU is going to have a very good year this year. I think they take a step up. I think they'll have some weapons. If they are able to play some level of competitive defense, I think LSU is going to be a team to watch out for this upcoming season. I like Nussmeier. I think he throws a pretty ball. He gives me gunslinger vibes a lot, very Brett Favre-ish. But you know what? I'm not mad at it because when you have the confidence to make certain throws, I mean, in college sports, you're going to be forced to throw in, I'm not going to say windows because the spacing in college football is a lot different. You'll throw to some open targets, but you still got to be able to sling the pill. And if you're willing to take risks and be able to cut it through defenses, I'm not mad at it if you have that level of arm talent. And if you have the confidence in that level of arm talent, I'm not mad at it either. So when I look at that as a whole, I like Nussmeier as the second best quarterback in the SEC. Now, Lenore Sellers is number 3. but he has all the potential to be number one. Because I'm going to say this, and I know this is going to come premature. Chat, don't kill me in the comments. But whatever we saw in Anthony Richardson, in the Josh Allen comparisons he got coming out of college, we got to kind of apply those to Lenore Sellers. He's like a hybrid to me. He's like a bigger Jalen Hurts, but could potentially have like the Josh Allen improvisation, throw, arm strength level, arm angles, raw talent. And if he's able to put those things together, because I will admit, he was a bit of a better runner this season than a passer. But I think a lot of that comes with just, first year starting, comes with growth, finding your sea legs, because South Carolina played some great football down the stretch, and Lenore Sellers was one of the biggest reason why. I thought that game he played against Clemson, chat, I'm going to let you know right now, full disclaimer, J-Rob loves an ugly win. Sometimes in football, it's going to be a nip and tuck game where you're going to look at this game and say there was 3 plays that decided the game. And Lenore Sellers late in that game, put the ball in his hands, was a playmaker, made the biggest touchdown of the night. He was absolutely electric. And when I look at the raw physical intangibles of Lenore Sellers, I don't see how you don't look at a world and say, not only could this be the best player in the SEC by the end of the year, but this could be a Heisman contender. And this is a team that has a lot of things going for it. Great defense, good weapons on the perimeter. I mean, there's a lot of physicality on this South Carolina Gamecocks football team. And so you add that with a Heisman-level threat at Lenore Sellers, we could be having a conversation in late October, November, chat, and we're saying Lenore Sellers is the best player in the SEC. So after the top 3, this is where things get a little mixy. I'd probably, and I'm only going to do about the top 10. I'm not going to go all the way down to 16 because, chat, I don't think any of us really care about that. I'm just going to go about top 10. So my first 3 in order would be John Mateer, Nussmeier, Lenore Sellers. That's my first 3. At 4, I'm going to go DJ Lagway. DJ Lagway has a lot of talent. I actually think he has more talent than Arch Manning. He's an absolute stud. I just felt like, though, in his starts in the SEC compared to Arch Manning starts in the SEC, at this point, from what I've seen, I'm going to give him the edge. He's also a player that's going to have a lot of talent. He's a player that when he's a true sophomore, but in his true junior year, he will be in the conversations for potentially being a potential first-round top 25 pick in the 2027, I want to say, NFL draft. DJ Lagway has the tools. I think he is easily saving his head coach's job. The talent on the perimeter, at Florida is going to be electric. Don't sleep on this Florida Gators team. They might be back if DJ Lagway can take that next step in his game. At number 5 now, that's when I'll bring in Arch Manning. Regardless of what I said earlier about about the competition he's faced in his starts, Arch Manning still has all the prototypical tools you need. And the difference between him and his uncles is that he can run. He can run, chat. This is a guy who topped out at 22 miles per hour during his offseason program at Texas. This is different. He got his granddad and he got his grandfather and his pops' athleticism. He did not get his uncle's athleticism. He throws a great ball. I think he has touch. I think he has timing. The other thing I like about him too, what I've seen in those games, he also has improvisational skills. I think this is what's truly where I see his potential as a quarterback overall. I truly believe that Arch Manning can not only be a prolific passer within the pocket, but I think when we have conversations about him, especially when we have this massive sample size this season, we are going to see Arch Manning have that Seattle Seahawks prime, Russell Wilson, Aaron Rodgers as just ability to make plays in the pocket. But what will make him also deadly is his improvisation, but the fact that he can still gash you down the field. This is not a quarterback where if he takes a running lane and go, he might hit his head on the goalpost. He can legitimately run. He might be a 4.6, 4.5 guy. Low key, if you're running 22 miles an hour, 21 miles an hour, don't be surprised if you see, Arch Manning. There might be a rumor come out that he ran, at camp, he ran a 4.48. I mean, if you're running 22 miles an hour, that is super fast. At number 6, he's already there, actually. I'm going to go Diego Pavia. I just don't think there's a quarterback in the SEC who has more of a burden to shoulder than Diego Pavia. Let's be honest. Vanderbilt is probably not going to be an SEC championship conversation. But I think we all agree, if they are able to win 8 or 9 games in the SEC, we are still going to be impressed. We saw them beat an Alabama team last year. Couldn't believe it. Still don't believe it. But when I look at Diego Pavia and the way he commands that offense, and I'll be honest, that Vanderbilt offense, a little gimmicky, but hey, they're playing in the SEC. Sometimes it can't be, you're not going to out-physical them at the line. So there is going to be some times where you are going to have to get a bit gimmicky. There's going to have to be a lot of motion, a little bit of window dressing here and there. But that's what makes them good, because they have a quarterback who's a bit of a magician. Diego Pavia he plays a bit of that backyard style of football. I don't think he's careless with the football. You can tell he's played a lot of football. That's 3 times I've just said football, but hey, I mean, those things all matter. Takes care of the football, plays a good brand of football, commands the offense. And when I look at those intangible things, at what he does good, there's the reason why they were able to win some games this season. And everybody's raising the eyebrow, like, how did they do it? But this quarterback is good. They're well coached. And I think the one thing people forget about sports, a level of delusion will take you a long way. A level of just unwavering confidence about yourself and what you're capable of, you might be ending up punching somebody out in the mouth in a big game on a big stage. Don't be surprised if next year Vanderbilt has another stunner against a big program. And I promise you the reason why that will be happening is because of Diego Pavia. Now at 7, this is where I might ruffle some feathers here at 7. I have Austin Simmons as my number 7 guy compared to this list. All I have as a sample size of Austin Simmons is Jackson Dart going down against Georgia and him having to come in for a drive and the offense didn't miss a beat. Lane Kiffin put the ball in his hands and asked him to make throws. This kid is a 19-year-old college graduate. Went to Ole Miss at 16 years old. He is a young junior. I mean, I guess he's a graduate, young senior, whatever, super senior. He's a 19-year-old super senior. He checks a lot of boxes off. Now, there's some things I want to see. I want to see some more games. I want to see more fleshed out games. But if I had to put on my list of an X factor in the SEC at the quarterback position, that X factor this year, for me, it's no doubt Austin Simmons. Austin Simmons not only can make throws, he has some moxie to come into a game versus Georgia in the minute that he did. I was intrigued. I am curious now. I am circling a lot of Ole Miss games because at the quarterback position, to be able to come into a situation like that, in a game like that, and not against just anybody, you're playing Georgia, for you to go through that, it says a lot about him character-wise. And I'll be honest, when it comes to a lot of these quarterbacks, chat, for me, I am looking at a little bit of those things too. There are some characteristic traits about the quarterback position that I will admit I care about. But it's just because the quarterback is asked to shoulder a lot. You get a lot of the praise. You get the doom when it comes down. You know, they'll throw trash on your name, and you bear the brunt and the adversity of what people say about you and the criticism. But how you respond, it truly matters. And I think Austin Simmons in that moment, he showed me a flash. I might be counting my chickens too early, but I will say I was impressed. Now, at number 8, I'm going to go Taylor Green. And I'm going Taylor Green strictly off of raw physical talent. The boy is 6'6". He can run, and he can throw the ball downfield. Now, there are some things he's going to have to clean up. I do think second year in this offense, remember, his coach is the same coach that gave us Louisville Lamar Jackson. Now, I'm not saying Taylor Green is going to be Louisville Lamar Jackson, but if he is able to tap in to, I will say, Chad, 85% of his God-given ability, along with putting it together up here, Arkansas will be a scary team going into this season because he does have, I mean, if I had to just be completely honest, raw talent, God-given abilities, things that we cannot coach, I mean, he is right there with Lenoris and DJ Lagway of just God-given physicals. At number 9, I'm going to go Marcel Reed. I do like a lot of Marcel Reed's intangibles. Electric guy on the ground. Do want to see the next step. A lot of these guys, and I feel like I'm saying some of the same things over, but a lot of these quarterbacks are fairly young. Like outside of like maybe Diego Pavia, Ty Simpson, the guys at the bottom, there's a lot of these guys are relatively young. And so a lot of these quarterbacks are going to be more judged on how they perform and develop going into this season. And then at number 10, to round out this list, I'm going Jackson Arnold. And I know he flamed out at Oklahoma. I think it was easy to write him off. But there was a reason why he was the number one dual threat quarterback coming out of college, coming out of high school. I think he showed a lot of flashes at Oklahoma too. And whether y'all want to admit this or not, that Oklahoma offense, and I said it earlier, wasn't that explosive, especially for a young quarterback. I like Jackson Arnold a lot. He also is a guy that when we go back and have this conversation, we will be talking about Jackson Arnold maybe as a top 5 guy in the SEC. We don't know. These are preseason projections, chat. But if we're going to sit here and tell ourselves, talent-wise, he's the 13th best guy, that ain't it. And playing at his best potential, Jackson Arnold, I mean, he could be anywhere from 5 to, I mean, he has the talent, chat. I don't want to deny his talent. He has a lot to clean up. He is not a finished product. But honestly, chat, a lot of these guys aren't finished products. DJ Lagway is not a finished product. Lenoris Sellers, he's in my top 5, top 3. He is not a finished product. Taylor Green, not a finished product. There's a lot to still be desired about these quarterbacks. There just is. Like, are we really sold on Gunnar Stockton yet? No, we have more to see. You know what I'm saying? So I don't want to feel like a lot of these quarterbacks have some things to show us. The SEC to me right now is a crapshoot. I don't have a guy. If you ask me who wins the SEC, we'll definitely be doing our conferences, chat. Be ready. That stream's gonna be long. That'll probably be an hour 15 stream because we'll be doing every single conference and getting through the winners. I don't know right now for the SEC because I am a guy who says I'm thinking about the quarterback because that's the elevation. And the way that college football is now, child, I'm giving y'all some foreshadowing. I'm giving y'all legitimate foreshadowing. I'm gonna pull this list down too, y'all. That's good. College football is at a place now where because there is so much parity, and because that it is anybody's game, it is fair game now because you can buy you a 5-star. You are going to have to find you guys who can really play this game. Guys with some desire, some heart, who can make tough plays. Because quarterback play, I think now, especially with this level of parity, that is going to be the determining factor in a lot of these ball games, I believe, in the SEC. I think the time of the SEC having just a bunch of dominant defenses across the board, if you were born in that early to late 80s, 70s, and saw that early 2000s at its peak, get ready because I think that era is over. I'm going to be honest. I believe that era is over. So Don't be surprised if a lot of these games are going to be determined by who has the last possession or who makes the least amount of mistakes. Now, let's get into some of these other topics. Let's go with this first. This is kind of fun. Change of pace real quick. Excuse me. Let's see. There we go. College Football 26 Deluxe Edition. This was awesome, y'all. This cover was great. I think they did a better job of getting more people in the cover because obviously last year we had 3 people in the cover and really only looked like one guy should have been on the cover. No shade to anybody. It's just if you're a cover athlete, you got to play like a cover athlete. I really am rocking with this. I love the incorporation of the coaches. This is smart too by the coaches, chat. Do not let these coaches fool you. These coaches are also in it for recruiting. It is cool to see a college football head coach on the cover of a video game. Why do you also think all these coaches opted their likeness into this game? They're all smart. This is all a part of the machine now. And I love it because it's a dream too. I remember when these games first came out. College football, NCAA 14, best iteration of the game ever. I remember how that game made me feel. I remember feeling like when I was in the game and I was really at the schools that I was being recruited by. And so I understand the level of magnitude that this game has. And so because of that, I do think it's a great recruiting sell for coaches to really put themselves into this video game because, I mean, it'll be dope to be like, listen, you see that 5-star? This could be you. And you show them it's my face. I'm the coach, obviously, not really my face. This could be you, and it is me showing the cover of the game. I think it's really dope. Let's remove this one from the stage. Let's add this one. Let's add this one. So this is our premature. Let's add this to the stage. So this is ESPN. They did an FPI. This is their premature college football top 25, as you can see. The reason why I bring this up is because our next topic is on the straight college football seeding. And so what that means is the first 12 teams, that's who gets in. And that's the seeding. Championship, whoever wins the championships, they're not really as relevant. It is the first 12 teams, they get into the college football playoffs. Now, I'll be honest with you, chat. I have a big problem with straight seeding. And the reason why I have a huge problem with straight seeding is because that could potentially lead to a conference champion not getting into a college playoff. And I get it. Some people don't want that many mid-majors in, but Boise State was a hell of a mid-major last year, and we all know it. They were one of the best 12 teams in the country. That's indisputable, chat. It's indisputable. So this straight seeding, to me, it only benefits the Power Four. Because are we really going to recognize the new Pac-12 as the Power Five? I doubt it. Let's not lie to ourselves and be disingenuous. We're not looking at the new Pac-12 as a Power Five. And so with 12 straight seeding, and then look, we got Notre Dame. Notre Dame is a lot to make the college football playoffs all the time, chat. I want you to know that. They will always at least be the 5, 6, or 7 seed bare minimum. They don't play a conference championship game. And they pick their and they don't pick their schedule. A team that doesn't win their conference will get in. Yes, teams that don't win their conference will get in. And Knights Templar in the chat, I want to say that. A team that doesn't win their conference will get in. Yes. And the thing is, I'm okay because you have 12 spaces. I'm okay with an extra team that didn't win the championship get in. However, I'm not okay with it at the expense of another team, especially another conference champion. If there are 2 mid-majors, chat, that are undefeated, for example, if 2 mid-majors run the gauntlet, go undefeated, one out of the Pac-12, let's just say the MAC, let's say Boise State runs it back, they do it again. And then UTSA, they do the same thing. They also beat a Power 4 team along the way. Why am I allowing 3 SEC teams? Why am I allowing three Big Ten teams? If somebody has to get cut out for a conference champion to get in, I think that's okay. It's not fair to the college athletes at the mid-majors. We made the playoffs to make it feel more plausible for a team to get in. for the team that doesn't feel like they can ever get into that national contention to have a legitimate shot at this thing. And so I feel like the straight seeding, it's going. I feel like it is going to sabotage another program. And we've seen a lot of these mid-major programs go all in on getting some Power 5 talent to come in to be a part of their program. You saw it with UNLV. You see it with UT San Antonio, Boise State. I mean, this is not new. You know what I'm saying? And so, I mean, look, Oregon State just brought in Malik Murphy. Like, this is, what are we surprised about? You know what I'm saying? So when I look at all of this, I hate to, you know, sound like I guess the word I'm looking for is I don't want to sound like so pessimistic about it, but it just seems like this is more to a benefit of the Power 4 teams and conferences than it does. You know, exactly. Shout out to Knights Templar. A team could go 10-2 and not miss out, while a team could go 9-3 and get in. Yeah, that doesn't make sense. And that goes to the committee. They're pretty much saying a loss to this, your 3 losses is better than your 2 losses, just because of the level of competition. That's not necessarily fair, because that 10-2 team still won their conference. That 9-3 team, they shouldn't get the nod to get into the playoffs. And so I actually prefer the seeding that it was last year. I thought it was fair. Now, obviously, I wasn't in full agreement of maybe how it was seeded. Maybe 1 or 2 spots could have changed, but I was okay with actually all the teams that got in. Out of all the teams that got in, I was perfectly okay with it. And I even thought it got it right by letting in SMU and letting in Clemson. I thought that was the right decision. You know what I'm saying? And all these people who were caping for Alabama to get in, are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? And so now we're going to be into a place next season where it's not really going to be about winning, every team winning the conference championship. It's just about making sure you got a decent enough schedule, you won enough games, and if you're in one of the Power 4 conferences, you can breathe easy because I lost two games in the conference, and because I had to play Penn State and Ohio State, I lost to them, so give me the nod. But we're not going to let UT San Antonio get in, and they went undefeated, lost 1 game, won the conference. You know, I just feel like it's unfair, you know, and so there is a bit of I'm a bit concerned about it. It's just something that I am looking towards. As it'll be I just think, chat, when we look back at this, we're going to have this conversation again. That's how I feel about it. We are going to have this conversation again in October, and I'll probably be a lot more frustrated about it now. I mean, then than I am now. But it's just something that for a shadow, I look forward to it. It just could be something that I think might get a little grimy, a little slimy. I really do, truly do. And so before we go, chat, last topic, before we wrap this up, if you haven't hit that subscribe button, if you haven't hit that like button, please do that. Leave a comment. We're going to be having some guests. I'm going to have some guests up here throughout the season. I'm also going to have my partner in crime, who'll be like the Jason McIntyre to my Colin Cowherd, you know, running off some of these topics with me. We're going to have some college athletes up here, guys. We're going to have some kids who are right in it right now. Don't trip. It's going to be a great season. And, you know, we're going to do some days, too, where we are going to allow, if you want to come up here and chop it up, I'll put the link in. We'll have some Q&As like you phone in. We'll phone in, have a conversation. We'll talk about it. You can debate me, too. Listen, if you don't like one of my opinions, tell me you don't like it. We could agree to disagree. You know, I'll tell you my 3 biggest football rules that people don't always agree with, but I agree. But these are my cardinal rules. Winning is a quarterback stat. Production over talent. And don't ever have a wedding during fall season. That is football season. Those are my 3 cardinal rules of football. Quarterbacks, winning is a quarterback stat. Production over talent. Never have a wedding in the fall. It is football season. I do not want to be at your wedding with my iPhone in my lap while I sweat my bets and watch these games. Why couldn't we do this in February? End of February. Excuse me. End of February. But anyway, final topic. Sad to admit I'm guilty of Rule 3. It's all good. I'm letting you know. I have to let you know. Those are my standards. Those are my big 3 rules. And so before we close the show, I do want to say, I want to talk about you should be ashamed. I do want to talk about my 3 dark horse candidates going into this college football season. So I got 3 dark horse quarterback candidates going into this year. My first one, Sam Leavitt out of Arizona State. I think he has a lot of talent. I think he came on late. He was like a late season arrival. He bloomed to the national spotlight late. But I think he has a S-ton of talent. I think not only does he have a lot of talent, live arm, he's confident. I love a confident quarterback. That moxie, that, brush your shoulders off, spit on your cuts, and get up and play. I love his attitude, love his approach. I think what they're doing over there in Arizona State, I think Coach Dillingham and his staff are really brewing something at Arizona State. He put out a statement that he feels like Arizona State is on the verge of being one of the blue bloods of the 2020s. And something in my soul believes him. I loved what I saw out of that program a season ago. I think Sam Leavitt takes them to the next level. My next dark horse candidate is Dante Moore out of Oregon. Hasn't taken a snap yet, but he has all the things he needs. And I think people forget he did play at UCLA. So he's been in a live game. He's played in some real games. But I think with the Evan Stewart, the Corian Moore combo that he's got, Dante Moore is one of my dark horse candidates to go crazy next season. I think it could be very, 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 very spooky for Oregon in the Big Ten if Dante Moore comes to play. Now, my final selection, and remember, this is a dark horse. This is just, you never know. You just never, ever, ever know. And this is my curveball, guys. Ultimate curveball. You might hate me, chat, but I talked about him before. Austin Simmons, Ole Miss University. University of Mississippi, Oxford, I think. Austin Simmons in that Lane Kiffin offense, I truly feel is going to be electric. Now, I don't know who's going to in the SEC, but I truly believe this kid is going to put up some insane numbers this year in that Lane Kiffin offense. His youth, coupled with his intelligence, coupled with the offensive genius that is Lane Kiffin, he might be the best left. He might be the best lefty in the SEC since Tua Tagovailoa. He has a lot of talent, and I truly believe that he could be a dark horse candidate because I truly think that the SEC is a crapshoot. It is anyone's game, and I believe that his pairing and that little flash, coupled with that little flash I saw against the Georgia Bulldogs, he is my third dark horse. He is my darkest horse. He is my ugly duckling of my dark horses. But I have a little bit, I'm just throwing a little bit on his future. Think he outperforms Dart. I can see it. And I love Jackson Dart. Jackson Dart, he was my QB3 going into the draft this year. So I'm high on Jackson Dart. I think he has a lot of talent, like his game a lot. But Austin Simmons, I have my meta goggles on him for sure. But with that being said, chat, I appreciate y'all coming on the show. Make sure y'all check me out on. We'll be doing, if you follow Voice of College Football, the Voice of College Football Network, I will be also doing some Colorado football coverage on Thursday. Make sure y'all come on. I will be talking Shedeur Sanders, Travis Hunter, Colorado's outlook, what their season is going to look like this upcoming season. I'll be here every Tuesday. We'll be doing this all year long. We'll be probably adding another episode, another live throughout the week. So just bear with me. If you're watching this on YouTube or you're watching this on my X right now, we appreciate you guys coming in the chat. Leave a comment. Please leave a subscribe. And we appreciate you guys for just tuning in. And we're excited for college football season. I mean, we're less than 100 days away. Let's get to it. And with that being said, peace, love, and happiness, everybody.